Ka-chow.
Awesome. I am here today with Eddie B from Revolt, and he is going to share one of my biggest pet peeves, which is I talk to people all the time and they're like, I bought an EV because it doesn't need maintenance. Now, Eddie, it does need maintenance, a lot less, but can you share with us a little bit of what those things are, how often they need to be done, and why we should be doing them?
Sure. I mean, any machine in the world is going to need maintenance. I mean, that is, if there's a moving part, it needs to be maintained. The biggest things on EVs is tires. They weigh significantly more. The car behind me right now, this is a Tesla Model S of 2019. It weighs approximately 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, and my Civic is, with all of the tools in it, is about 3,000.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking a ton of more weight because of the batteries and everything else.
A literal ton, thank you.
Exactly, a little ton. But those are things that, I constantly crawl in the back of these things because the rear tires tend to wear out faster than the front tires. It's a camber issue. So these cars, when they lay down to get a little closer, they tend to do this.
As the weight starts to squat,
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at a tire, and you obviously, when you walk by a car, you're looking at a tire, and you're like, oh, it looks good, but the inside of it
you don't see the inside.
Gone.
But it's super easy to kind of just like peek your head under there.
People think it is, but they forget to do it.
You would look for this edge right here.
So we are going through tires a lot faster.
And these tires they're not
little tiny tires. They're bigger tires. Yeah, it's a big heavy car. Also, I'm putting about 600 and change horsepower out of this car, so my accelerations are much faster.
So that means you need to stick to the ground more, which means you're also wearing more tires.
And EVs, I like to drive like EVs. They're fun. They're torquey. They have a lot of power.
Yeah.
I got 650 horsepower here, and it's fun to play with, especially with all-wheel drive. So
tires.
Do problem. Shocks and struts, they go out just like everybody else.
Oh, you mean like our beautiful pothole-filled roads? Like we need to be actually getting our car aligned the same way, I'm assuming, and also need to be paying attention to those shocks and struts. Making sure they're not leaking, making sure that, I guess that they're just doing their job.
This car's already gone through a whole set.
It's only a 2019.
140,000 miles on it, though.
Okay.
We drive this.
You drive a lot.
We do drive quite a bit.
Okay. But that's almost like a normal maintenance interval then for your shocks and struts.
Correct.
Okay.
So once again, it's normal maintenance plan. They do have coolant, just like every other vehicle.
Yeah. I was going to say, it looks a little low, my dear.
I need some G48.
So
I'm low.
That's our max. That's our min. And we're down here.
Yeah, absolutely. This car's not exactly young. It's got 140,000 miles on it. So if maybe somebody maintained something or pulled a hose off at some point.
And they didn't refill it?
They didn't refill it. So, yep, this is G48. We use this quite often.
That's the stuff you said it doesn't ever evaporate.
It doesn't evaporate, doesn't freeze, it doesn't anything. So nominal is where you want it to be. Nominal is optimum.
Okay.
Minimum's minimum, maximum's maximum. So we use the word nominal.
Goldilocks.
We use nominal quite a bit in electric cars.
Or not Goldilocks, yeah. Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, so nominal in the EV industry is where you want to park your batteries if you're going to be storing it for a long time. Nominal voltage, you don't want them on top, you don't want them on bottom. So if you are going to be storing your cars, especially electric cars, nominal is right in the middle.
Okay.
So
and that's kind of where you want it to stay, right? Like if you're going to be storing it.
Yes, because up on top is terrible. If you want to charge your car fully and put it away for a month, that's extremely hard on the batteries.
Okay.
There's just a lot of pressure on them. Also on the other end too, you don't want them down very low because the opposite
then happens. They just linger here, yeah.
So you want them nominal, which is usually like 3.6 volts per cell, which is about half the battery pack. They have a radiator, actually multiple radiators, heat exchangers. Just because we don't have a gasoline engine doesn't mean we're not producing heat. You're
creating heat as a byproduct of creating the power. Yeah.
Correct. So there's something called resistance.
Okay.
So when you flow electrons through a wire or anything, they're going to be making resistance and heat and resistance are kind of.
So we have a lot of coolant in here.
We do.
Okay.
Quite a bit. The battery system's fully cooled and the drivetrain is fully cooled.
Okay.
And they're cooled at different levels too. So one actually has to be one temperature and the other one has to be a different temperature.
But this car does that automatically, right?
It does it all with valves and pumps. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So yes, there's a lot of stuff to maintain there. When we do supercharge, the batteries get hot. And those have to be cooled. Also, they like to be 70 degrees, just like humans.
Okay.
Where the motor doesn't really care as much. You can get much hotter.
Now, what happens when, like, let's say you have a coolant leak? Does it look the same as in like an internal combustion engine car or a hybrid where like you'll see drips on the ground?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something that people could keep an eye out for. Also, like, how does it present in the car if the car is getting too hot? Does it shut itself down? Will you see like an icon pop up? Like,
If there's something wrong in a Tesla, it will let you know, but there's not gauges like a traditional car. We don't know if our motors are hot or cold until it's pretty much, and it's not too late that it caught the problem. And it's telling you on the screen that your car is going to shut down because of a heating issue. Or
so
the
when you
most
see
power.
that, you need to pull over. To a safe place.
And it'll let you know. And also there has been an issue that we didn't burp the coolant system on one of the cars that we fixed.
There was air.
There was air in it. I got down the street and it literally said up on the screen, rear power unit is too hot, and it's going into limp mode.
Oh, so it's kind of like your cell phone when you leave it in the sun for too long. Okay, makes sense.
So like all modern cars, they let you know if something's wrong. So we got coolant. Also, we do have brake fluid.
And brake fluid, I mean, on our average cars is the same thing. It's like you have to change it at a minimum of every 3 years, right? Because it's hygroscopic. It's attracting water from the air.
Moisture is going into it quite often, yeah. And especially here in Southern California, it's probably not so bad, but you get places that are humid, back east, Florida.
We have some humidity here.
Some. Very rare. It's a pretty dry place. But yeah, exactly. The hygroscopic portions or properties that they pull in moisture, you want to change it. HEPA filters, you got your HVAC system.
Now that HEPA filter is for us, right? Not for the car.
Nope, it doesn't need to breathe. We do. And with our smog out here, it's probably better to
people ask me that all the time. They're like, well, the number one upsold item on an ICE engine is usually your engine air filter. So it's like, oh, I have an EV. What is probably the number one upsold item for an EV? Wouldn't surprise me if it's that HEPA filter. Is it still behind the glove box?
Yeah, actually, it's underneath the hood. But yeah, in that same.
Oh, so it's still easily accessible.
Kind of ish. Yeah, it's not terrible to get to. But yeah, tires, you got your fluids. We still use all the same fluids. There is transmission fluid in here. Yep. So these motors and gearboxes have a single speed. That means they don't change speeds. But just like any other transmission, it has transmission fluid inside of it. The gears do need to be lubricated.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're moving parts. But how often does that get changed?
So I'm going to change it again now because this car, as I said, has 140,000 miles on it. I'm the third owner. I know for the last 60,000 miles, no one's changed the fluid because that's how long we've owned the car.
Well, that's about the normal interval for our cars now is between 30 and 60,000 miles or 3 to 6 years, whichever comes first.
Yeah, because oil breaks down over time too. Maintenance intervals are pretty important. Just like anything else, you want to get your fluids cleaned. You want to get things checked. Also, when the fluids come out of the car, it's a good indicator of what's going on inside the actual components.
I mean, literally, it's just how I tell people when you pull the dipstick of your oil for your internal combustion engine, it's like the tongue of your car. You can actually kind of see what's going on the inside. So same thing with your fluids. Now, if somebody's going to a mechanic and they're having, let's say, like their transmission fluid changed, can they take a Tesla to just anywhere? I thought they had to be maintained by specific people.
No, Teslas can now be maintained. I mean, there's a lot of things on here that are like that, oils, that most any mechanic could do.
Okay, cool.
So pretty simple. Some of the more advanced things like battery management, that has to go to like a Tesla facility. Especially if you want to not void your warranties. That's a big one too. They don't have engines, so they don't have engine oil. Engine oil is probably the most frequently changed fluid in any car because you got blow by, you got combustion, you got a lot of things going on that are harming the fluids very quickly, where gear oil and other things are isolated from those elements. So we don't have to change them as much.
So brake fluid's probably the most common then if it's every couple of years.
I don't think anybody changes their brake fluid.
Oh my God.
Terrible, because that's the part that makes your car stop.
This is why we're making this video.
Yeah, change your brake fluid. I know it sounds like stupid, but you know what? It does need to be changed. You want to be able to stop your car, so it's extremely
important. That's because water, people don't understand this, but like when water gets into the system, not only is it breaking down the internal components of those rubber lines or whatever the materials are made out of, but also water can create steam when it gets hot. And steam compresses. Now you definitely don't want your brake pedal compressing when you step on it, so that's why we change it out every couple of years.
And when you cook your brakes get extremely hot. They're negative horsepower. So they're removing all that horsepower that you took down the street and slowing it down.
Using friction.
Exactly. So you're making actual heat because of it.
Well, so we have the top thing is probably tires, and then I would say maybe brake fluid, and then we want to make sure that we're checking on our coolant and our transmission fluid. What are some of the most common problems or maintenance items that fail that you're seeing, now that these have been on the road long enough?
Well, the Teslas between 2012 and 2022 do have an inherent problem with a leaky rotor seal is what we call it. So the rotor seal that isolates the rotor from the coolant side to the dry side basically leaks. And once that coolant leaks around the whole rotor of the motor gets engulfed with fluid. And this is a fluid that has a lot of salts in it. And then that passes down into the inverter section, which controls the motor. And then that has a circuit board that has a bunch of electronics.
Oh gosh, that's
and
not a place where coolant should be.
liquid and electronics don't like each other.
Yeah,
Actually,
definitely
they like each
salty
other a lot.
liquid.
Yeah. So that basically destroys a $6,000 or $7,000 complete rev unit.
So at that point, can you preemptively replace this seal? What can people do to make sure that this doesn't happen?
I'm gonna pitch my product right now. So
okay, go for it.
We actually have a coolant bypass kit that we make here at Revolt Systems.
Oh, cool.
To address that problem.
Literally cool.
Yeah, it's $300. I'll save you $7,000 or $8,000 in damages.
Okay. And when is it like, oh, I'm going to go in and make sure that this isn't a problem, or oh, I'm just going to do this now to make sure that I can save myself some money?
I would recommend everyone getting a coolant bypass kit as soon as possible if they have that motor.
Okay.
It's really easy to tell. You crawl into the car and look up and see it.
Now, rather than crawling underneath the car, could somebody literally just use VIN decoder?
Yeah.
And then find out what type of motor they have?
Correct.
And then they can basically contact you, have your product shipped to their mechanic? Is that how that would work?
Because the process of actually putting that in isn't exactly straightforward.
Okay.
You have to pull the whole rear of the subframe out and pull the motor halfway out to get that thing on.
So there's a lot of labor, but
Correct.
at the end of the day, you get to keep your car. You're not paying $7,000 to basically, have a giant paperweight.
Exactly. And then like anything else, it breaks.
Yeah.
So that was an inherent problem with the Teslas from 2012 to 2022, roughly, on the S and X. So yes, like anything else, there are issues.
Yeah.
This is, mechanics is a complex thing.
Yeah.
And you won't know until time. And those seals go out anywhere between, we've seen them go out as early as like 25, 30,000 miles.
Oh.
And I've seen cars go 150,000 miles without blowing them up.
Okay.
And it's anywhere in between. So it's a luck of the draw.
And that's, it's interesting because you and I were talking earlier, but because you don't have regular oil changes, nowadays you're not really having your car inspected
Correct.
as often, right? So it's almost like if you wanted to go make sure that your car is not going to have these inherent problems or that you're not heading that direction, you can almost just take your car in for its its annual doctor visit, right?
Correct.
Like having your annual physical, but for your car.
Yeah, like I know with my fluids getting low in here, these don't burn fluid.
Yeah.
Something's leaking.
Yeah, where did it go?
And you can't see the drop on the ground.
Yeah.
Because
it's going into the case.
It's going to the case of the engine. So you'll have no visual indicators that your rotor seal is going bad until it throws a fault code on you.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
Because now you've damaged internal
It's all been soaked in there. Ugh.
Yep. And once that happens, basically those are throwaway motors. We've seen people salvage them and it's like, nope, they never come back right. They have isolation issues. And this is 400 volts. You don't want to be playing that kind of game.
No.
So yeah, definitely, that's the problem is everyone thinks these cars are like set it and forget it. I'm guilty of that too. That's why I have one. I don't like going in for oil changes.
Yeah.
And these things are great. You don't have to go in for them as much.
And that's the thing is maybe you could set that annual appointment, pay the hours worth of labor to have somebody go through your whole car, make sure everything's where it should be, and then you just keep driving it.
Yeah, and it's good to pop the hood on these things every once in a while and check things yourself, okay? That we do have coolant, places for coolant in here. We do have the brake, fluid, so we could check it. So unscrew it, look at it. If it's dark, it doesn't look right, take it in. Okay, so if you click and hold this in this on a Model S, the model, see that little blip? Yeah. So you type in SERVICE, service.
Oh.
Hit okay. And
now you're in service mode.
Enable in service mode. So now you'll see, now we're in the service mode of the car. It's pulling up a lot of telemetry and data. We can now go into service settings, service alerts. I come in here and see all the trouble codes that this car has been throwing. This would be like permanent and this would be like temporary or like pending. Yeah, so we got service fix, customer, and then all. So service fix. So these are a couple things that, the MCU, TPMS system. Now, could you just Google this like you would Google a P0 blah, blah, blah? Absolutely. So like these TPMS system faults. Yeah, your wheel speed sensors are mad. Yeah, something's not happy. I got one left one that's not doing very well. There's also a fault in the system. But it's funny because it literally says could be a missing sensor, could be like what it says what it could be. So just like anything else. And the code that you're looking up, it says THC blah, 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 blah. Wow, okay. Yeah, it's a little harder than a P0101 or something. Exactly. So Tesla has their own sets of codes. Makes sense. The first thing I always do on Tesla is a hard reset. So unplug the fireman's loop, pull the 12. Just take all the power. That's basically like taking the battery, the two terminals off a 12-volt battery. Correct. You reset the MCU, the VCUs, everything gets reset. Yeah. So here's a self-check, just kind of like to make sure you got all greens here. There's no reds. So HP battery drive charge 60%. So this is the active charge? Yeah, that's actually my state of charge. So you see 60% right there. Okay. So that's my charge level. State, it's drivable. Contactors are now closed. That means the high voltage is on the car.
Okay.
So the car is ready to drive. So if I dropped this thing in drive, it would go. Yep. So
which is crazy because you're just sitting here and it would like sneak up on you because it's so quiet. This doesn't have some sort of like emergency brake that like, or like, you know how you have like hill assist or something so that it doesn't just like go on you. I don't know. Like,
well, if you touch the throttle pedal, you're in drive, it's gonna go. So you just got to be careful with it. So as you can see, I could go through every one of these things. You got our suspension. So those are our wheel sensors. See that?
Oh yeah.
So as we're jumping up and down,
you can actually sense that the car is actually moving.
Yeah, you saw the numbers are changing. So that's where the sensors are at. That's where the targets. It tells you where the suspension's drooping. It's one of those things you have to stop and take the 5 minutes and just, you know, it's your vehicle. You put your families in this. I got 3 kids.
You hurdle yourself down the freeway at 80+ miles an hour. Like,
people forget about it.
Yeah. So it sounds like the best things that we can do is, number 1, make sure we check our tires. Number 2, maybe take your car to the doctor. I like to remember to do this on my car's birthday. So I always give my car a little extra love. And people are like, well, my car doesn't have a birthday. And I'm like, yes, it does. You paid for the registration annually. That is your car's birthday, or like a holiday that you're going to actually remember because you want to give your car a little extra love. It is definitely one of the hardest working members of our family.
Teslas actually do come with a birthday.
Oh, they do?
They do.
You can program it in?
Nope. It is programmed into the car, just like a VIN number.
There you go. Done.
And it's actually called birthday.
I love this. Perfect. So now you have a date that you can make sure that you're taking extra good care of your car so that it keeps taking care of us. So
Exactly.
thank you so much.
Pleasure.